Hey everybody, it's Charlie. We got a Doom Patrol trailer to break down. We have to freak out about Cyborg. We finally see what he looks like on screen with finished special effects. This is actual footage that they shot for a promo just to be holiday themed. I don't know if they just clipped this out of one of the episodes or if they shot it special just for a promo because we're heading into Christmas, so everyone's getting their holiday themed teasers out. There's also a bunch of Justice Society and Injustice Society news inside the DC TV universe, so I'll explain that after I talk about Doom Patrol stuff. Don't forget about the Titans finale. I'll do a season 2 teaser video because they did something that people have been asking for a long time, myself included. Like, there was rumors that they were going to do something special and they totally did it. If you're new to the channel, we're doing a new round of that Flash Ring giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on the video. I'll name a new winner at the end of this. So let's just talk about Cyborg first, because he's probably the biggest new thing in this, although Crazy Jane and Timothy Dalton's version of the Chief are new additions since the Doom Patrol episode on Titans. So I'll explain some of the changes they've made since you saw that episode, or if you didn't watch it, what was going on with it. First reaction is Cyborg is pretty much what I expected. They said that, because they don't have like $200 million to shoot these 10 to 11 or 12 episodes, I don't know exactly how many episodes Doom Patrol is going to be, but since Titans was only 11, I'm guessing the Doom Patrol is somewhere around the same, between 10 and 13 episodes. They had to find a way to do a really cool version of Cyborg on about half the amount of time and say, close to like half the budget of what you would see Cyborg in Justice League or Batman v Superman. He was really only in there for a couple seconds in Batman v Superman. But the way the actor explained it as it was pitched to him when he first came on the series is that it would just be a mixture of practical and special effects. Mostly practical stuff when he's just sitting around, and then special effects when he's actually using his powers. So if you weren't sure what you were looking at here, this is purely practical. Like, he's got a piece he's wearing on top of his head. It's real, like you could actually touch it. And his left eye is just a little LED light that they can turn on and off. Then he's got a practical chest plate that he wears on underneath his Adidas jacket there. So the obvious solution is that you just put him in human clothes when he's walking around, and he doesn't need to be like super hardcore badass Cyborg, like if they're not fighting some big team of villains. The way they originally pitched the character to us when they were like, oh, here's a synopsis for the Doom Patrol TV series, is that Cyborg is the character that brings them their mission that sort of sets them off on their series, like their big arc. Mr. Nobody is the villain. He's being played by Alan Tudyk. He's from the Grant Morrison run. He doesn't appear anywhere in this, but that's just because they want it to be a more lighter themed holiday, hey, welcome everybody, we're coming February 15th. So obviously that's the premiere date. If you guys didn't notice it, they're essentially billing this team, if you're not a big Doom Patrol fan, because they're a super deep cut, as the world's weirdest superheroes. So that's why all their powers are really weird. They have really crazy origin stories. Crazy Jane, who's like a brand new character that they've added since the Doom Patrol Titans episode, has probably one of the most hardcore origin stories. Once you understand how some of these characters work, you'll understand why you haven't seen them on the CW DC TV shows, because those tend to be a little bit lighter and for a slightly younger audience. So as a little girl, Crazy Jane was abused by her father and developed an alternate personality which then took over. Later in life, while she was living as that alternate personality, she was abused again in a much worse way and had to be institutionalized after it caused her to fracture into many, many different personalities. That if you remember the Dominators from the CW DC TV crossover a couple years ago, those aliens, they set off a gene bomb that she was exposed to, giving all of her different personalities superpowers. So each different personality has a different superpower. She's kind of like a female version of the Legion character. If you've ever seen that TV series or you've read the comic, she's not quite as powerful as Legion is, but all of her different personalities are really weird, and I'm sure that they're probably going to pick some of the really crazy ones to do, but because it's only going to be 10 to 13 episodes, we're probably not going to see every one of the 100 different personalities. If you didn't watch the Doom Patrol episode of Titans, Brendan Fraser is playing Robot Man. You probably detected his voice. It's a different actor underneath the costume, so Brendan Fraser is just doing the voice. But also, really famous person, Matt Bomer, is playing Negative Man underneath all those raps. It's the same situation, different actor underneath the raps, Matt Bomer just doing the voice. If you didn't know, if you haven't been watching, this is a spin-off of the Titans TV show. They're building out a connected universe. So there was a Doom Patrol episode that introduced the Beast Boy character and gave his backstory with the Doom Patrol in the comics. Not all of the live-action TV shows they've announced will be connected, though. I think Swamp Thing is supposed to be the exception because that's taking place down in the bayou, but we'll get more information about that soon. I'm just guessing the only reason why they don't have Timothy Dalton in this promo as the Chief is because he's probably super busy. There was a different actor playing the Chief during that Titans episode. I think Timothy Dalton, we could all agree, is probably a big upgrade. I don't know why they would decide to recast. The actor that played the Chief during the Titans episode is a good actor, but I just wasn't a fan of what they did with the character during that particular performance. So Timothy Dalton is a huge upgrade. I can't wait to see what he looks like and feels like as that character. But just to be clear, this is Doom Patrol. It is meant to be super weird. So even though like Titans was a little bit darker than you may have expected, they're more mainstream superhero team. So they're probably more what you're used to if you've been watching the CW DC TV series. Moving into Justice Society and Injustice Society. If you guys didn't hear, there's a Stargirl TV series that's coming up later this year. They're doing the Justice Society in a really big way, like they've actually cast a bunch of the characters, and the Injustice Society. Yes, I do think that they would get more eyeballs on the TV series if they just called it Justice Society instead of calling it Stargirl, but I think for the most part, she'll be the protagonist and you'll see the Justice Society through her perspective. This is actually pretty funny. Joel McHale, like pretty big name, is going to be playing Star Spangled Kid. I'm sure he'll be exactly what you would expect of a Joel McHale performance. He tends to play snarky characters in all the roles that he portrays, so I'm not expecting any wild deviation from that. They just cast Dr. Midnight. Lou Ferrigno Jr. is going to be playing Hourman. I've never seen him in anything before, but I do think that it's funny that Lou Ferrigno, the Hulk's son, is going to be playing a Justice Society character. They also just announced that they're doing Wildcat, and I'm assuming that this is going to be a much bigger, better version than the Arrow version of Wildcat. That was a bit of a disappointment. Like, they brought the character on, he trained Laurel as Black Canary for like a really brief period, and then he sort of bitched out on the series and joined another TV series, so they never brought him back. Like, he got his ass beat by Brick, and that was the end of it. You never saw him again. The Injustice Society characters that they've announced so far are Tigress, Sportsmaster. If you're a big Young Justice fan, they're finally doing Sportsmaster on TV, and another character called Dragon King. But there's only 3, so I'm assuming they'll name more Injustice Society characters as we go along. It won't be premiering till later this year. And also, quick premiere reminder, Young Justice Season 3, speaking of Young Justice characters like Sportsmaster, starting January 4th, they're dropping 3 episodes. They've given me screeners for those first 3 episodes, but I haven't had a chance to watch them yet, so I'll do a couple Young Justice videos when we get closer to the premiere. They'll start dropping some more footage for that soon too. So everybody, let me know what you think about this new live-action version of Cyborg, because I don't think that we're going to see a Cyborg movie anytime soon, even though I do think that Ray Fisher will return as the Cyborg character in the Flash movie. Don't forget about the Titans finale, because they dropped a really big bomb on everybody. I mean, it was a really big fan question that people had about a certain character. They were hoping, there were rumors, finally confirmed, and it gives you an idea for where the direction is headed next season. There are a couple really big Justice League level characters that they introduced during Titans Season 1, and this is just a continuation of that. So no spoilers in this video, but I'll talk about that when I post my Titans video later. While you wait for everything, click here to rewatch all those Titans Batman scenes, and click here for that new Thor 4 Reunion Men in Black International trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.